Welcome back, everybody. I'm Edward Bilder, and I'm back today with EIDL updates because the SBA has replied with insider information that I want to share with all of you. Today's focus will be the holdups in the funding process, the 4506T processing, a new congressional support process that is out there that many of you should be aware of, and some updates around the $2 million loan cap increases. Along the way, I'm also going to answer many of the questions that come into the channel here, so stay tuned for all of your answers. It's important right now to share these videos with all of your friends and colleagues and fellow business owners who may have jumped off the channel, no longer focusing on EIDL, because with the $2 million loan cap increases going up, it also increases it to $10 million. So many may qualify for greater than $2 million right now. So before we get into it, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you get your daily updates on small business and the economy. And along the way, learn techniques to building wealth. One of my techniques to building wealth is through passive income. I make money show up in my bank account each and every morning through Airbnb. If you want to learn my secret on this, rush up to the description and grab my crash course on Airbnb that teaches you how to generate wealth each and every day as well. And if you'd like to learn how you can partner with me in my current businesses, find me on Instagram and ask about my Zoom calls. And yes, I'm coming to you from location today. I'm actually at one of my B&Bs in the middle of the woods. It's a cabin out in the middle of the Poconos in the Pennsylvania area. And I have this headset in because it's rather echoey in here and the best microphone is right here, okay? So I want to start today's focus on answering some of the big common questions that come into the channel here because they are a large variety and it will help you get and find resolutions to many things that you're stuck in. So I want to start out with some big questions around the $2 million loan cap increases. And one big question that always comes into the channel is, I've been waiting for 3 months now to get my first loan modification, and now I qualify for greater than $500,000. I just received my loan modification offer, although it is capped at $500,000. Should I accept it or should I hold out for more funding? And the answer here is very simple because it is very obvious. If you go back and request more funding right now, you will be adding on to your current timeline. So the question is, do you have the time to stop and wait for more funding, or you could just simply go ahead and accept that funding and then go back in and request more funds later? Because this does open a new loan modification request and you could start the processing today. You could actually go back in, accept your $500,000 cap, and then go and apply for additional funding greater than the $500,000 up to $2 million if you qualify. Now, the initial review process is an automated process, so get yourself set up inside the SBA system and start the process. However, the actual review process with a loan officer will not start until October 9th. This gives 30 days from the new ruling to continue to process loans and focus on the priority of loans under $500,000. Now, I was asked if the $500,000 processing will stop on October 9th. The answer is no. The processing for under $500,000 will continue in parallel with all of the processing for greater than $500,000 up to $2 million. And the last day to apply for the loans and the grants is December 31st, 2021. So that means you can apply today all the way up until December 31st of 2021. And if you have not reached the review process, the processing will continue to carry forward after December 31st of 2021 until all reviews are exhausted through the SBA. Okay, another big question that I get in here to the channel is, what do I do if I've been denied the $5,000 supplemental targeted advance grant? This means I received the $10,000 targeted advance grant, which means I found myself in a low-income community and I met the 30% requirements and 300 or fewer employees. Well, the additional $5,000 will come to you if you are 10 or fewer employees and if you suffered a 50% reduction in gross receipts over an 8 consecutive week period between March 2nd and December 28th of 2021. If you do in fact qualify under these two new pieces of criteria, simply go through the reevaluation process and substantiate to the SBA why they have reached an error and that you do in fact qualify for the additional $5,000. Now, the last big common question that I see here on the channel before I get into that insider information from the SBA and the new congressional support process is, why does the SBA continue to ask me over and over repeatedly for the 4506T? Now, this is actually more common than you think. This is happening to hundreds of thousands of viewers right now, okay? The 4506T will continue to be requested by the SBA until it shows up at the SBA. Now, in some scenarios, the IRS may have you stuck in the backlog or possibly be stuck in an amendment process, okay? So the best thing to do here is to pull your own 4506T from the IRS yourself and have it directed to yourself and review it to determine if there is no data showing up on the 4506T, or if you're seeing a $1 or a $0 showing up on the 4506T. The backlog will show up with a no data, and the $1 and $0 will show up as a result of the amendment process. Now, the best thing to do here, if you're finding this as a problem, is to reach out for congressional support for help. They have the ability to also leverage things that are happening with the IRS, as well as moving you forward in the processing with the SBA. And this leads us perfectly to the new congressional support process, because there is a special line of communication between congressional support and the SBA that is completely different from anybody else, any other applicant out there, okay? To start this process, start by going to your state's senators or representatives' websites. You're going to want to view your state prior to checking outside of your state, because your senators in your state are more likely to help you much faster than if you reached out to neighboring states or any random senator or representative. So start in your state and go to their website. Now, this ends in a .gov. Only go to .gov websites only. There are plenty of scam websites out there that would trick you into believing that you're going down a path of seeking EIDL help, and it could put you in a rabbit hole. So don't make that mistake, all right? Now, many of the websites have dedicated areas for EIDL support, and they have dedicated teams to help you get this process completed. They have a special process that's different than any other applicant. They use a direct email line to the SBA that is FOCW, Congressional Inquiries at SBA.gov, and this puts your loan inquiry request into a priority that will be viewed prior to any other priorities for that particular day. The loan officers are now trained to check this email before they check any other email and respond back to the representatives and senators, all right? This process does include a release that you must sign with the senators or representatives that they may speak on your behalf to move you forward in this loan process. But once you sign that release, you could actually find yourself being processed through the SBA in as little as 2 weeks and finding your funds land in your bank account on the third week, okay? Check the comments on all of the videos. There have been hundreds of comments that have come into this channel that have followed this advice and found themselves getting funded after being stuck for months, found themselves being funded within 3 weeks' time. So go through the comments and check with your local state representatives and senators first before you reach out to any other support. Okay, and the last piece of information that I want to cover here is from the insiders at the SBA. They actually watched my video yesterday and reached out to me to indicate why some of you may be stuck in the obligation process. This is that last funding step. It means that you found in your portal, it changed to approved, but you've now been waiting weeks and even months to find the funds land in your bank account. One of the biggest common reasons why you're stuck in the funding process is if you have partners on the loan, or if your spouses are also found on the loans. When you reach the obligation step, if there is not an authorized signature from your partners or your spouses and their names are found on the loan, they will hold up your loan until they find that you are authorized to accept this loan. Now, of course, board resolutions and demonstrating that you have the authority to sign on behalf of the partners will advance you in this process. But if your board resolution is not on file, or your partners are found on the loans and spouses are found on the loans, it will also require their signatures as well. So it's very important that you keep track of all email communications, because this happens to be one of the only ways to clear this up, is to check through your email traffic on your partners or on your spouses to find out if they did in fact receive any type of communication from the SBA to authorize the advancing of the funding process, all right? So please let us know in the comments if you are experiencing similar holdups on the funding process, and if you did find in fact that partners were required to sign on behalf of receiving the loans as well. Let us know how you got through that process and how long it took after they've signed, okay? I thank you guys so much in advance. Please keep your comments coming into the channel. You are all amazing. And I want to thank you all for watching another video today. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications to get your daily updates on EIDL, the economy, small business, everything happening right now. And if you want to continue to support the channel, remember, you could rush up to the description and grab my crash course on Airbnb, where you can learn how I generate all that passive wealth as I wake up each and every morning. You could grab the crash course right now. It is on a sale, and get into the real estate game with as little as $50 in your hand. Start cash flowing through Airbnb, earning an extra $5,000 to $10,000 in 3 business days. You don't have to own the real estate to do this. There's no big credit checks, and you don't have to be some fancy realtor to get all this done. Rush up to the description right now and find that crash course. It is on a mega sale because I want to have as many people have access to this as possible so you can start changing your lives and futures today, all right? Guys, if you'd like to learn how you could partner with me in my current B&Bs, find me on Instagram and ask about my Zoom calls Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to do it for today, folks. I wish you all the best, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye for now.